4, David Palacios. Number 7, Benito Uziel Lopez. Number 10, Anthony Brambilla. Number 11, Mario Jaregui. Number 15, Michael Jimenez. Number 18, Alonso Gonzalez. Number 19, Luis Fulgencio. And number 21, Jose Lora. Congratulations, Centennial seniors, on a great career so far. Good luck tonight and in the playoffs. Now we will recognize our LaSalle seniors and their family members. Parents and family, when you are called, come and greet your son and hang on the track for some great photographs. Number 6, midfielder Isaac Lyon. He's joined by Mother Carmi and Father Jess. Isaac's planning on studying biology or chemistry next year, but he has not decided where he's attending. His favorite memory is celebrating with fans after back-to-back wins versus Wilsonville. Congratulations, Isaac. Good luck tonight. And now our pinch hitter.
Next is number 13, defender Wyatt Schmidt. With Wyatt is his mother, Amy Schmidt. Wyatt hopes to pursue further education at OSU, studying mechanical engineering. His favorite part of being on the team is the family feel of it. Everyone is very close and connected, and we all share the ups and downs of the season. Congratulations, Wyatt. Next, number 14, midfielder Eldon Nichols. Eldon's mother Mary is here, and his sister Kayla. Eldon plans to attend a school on the West Coast, preferably Stanford, and study environmental science. The most meaningful experience he has had while playing soccer was getting to practice and play with 3 of my brothers. It's pretty sweet. I'd like to thank my entire family for showing me unconditional support and love throughout my high school career. Well said, Eldon. Give it up one more time for Eldon Nichols. Number 16, defender Keaton Henry. Keaton's mother is Brandy Henry, and his father is Tony Henry. He says, I'm going to college to study engineering, and I am aiming to be an architectural engineer. I want to go to college up in Washington to pursue this field. And the most meaningful lesson I've learned is to enjoy every moment of it. It goes by fast, so enjoy the things you can. I would like to thank all of my teammates throughout the years. They have helped me grow and become the person I am today. That's number 16, Keaton Henry. Next, number 18, defender Jasper Gilly. Jasper is his mother Joyce Wan and father Bruce Gilly. He says, I'm excited to major in neuroscience at the University of British Columbia and pursue a career as a neurosurgeon. The most meaningful lesson I took away from my time in the LaSalle soccer program is that people are harsh on you because they see the potential you have and don't want to see this go to waste. So, I thank Monty for always pushing me to be my best. That's number 18, Jasper Gilly. Number 20, midfielder, Kevin Serrano Maldonado. With him is mother Elena Maldonado and father Abel Serrano. I am planning to play soccer in college. However, I am still undecided. I want to pursue economics as my major. My most meaningful experience from playing this sport was winning a state championship for the school my sophomore year. I would like to thank the coaches and staff, Monty, Dave, Danny, and Stephanie, for the great year so far. That is number 20, Kevin Serrano Maldonado. That's right, we got another Nichols out there. Number 21, forward, Breslin Nichols. Again, joined by his mother, Mary Nichols, and sister, Kayla Nichols. He says, I'm going to college somewhere on the West Coast and plan to study software engineering. In the future, having a job as a software engineer would be ideal. In terms of my living plans in the future, I wouldn't want to move too far away, preferably stay on the West Coast. Excuse my language, but then he says, the Wilsonville game, sorry about that, last year was my most memorable experience that always comes back into my mind. This sport has taught me grit, patience, and to always give all of your effort. I would like to thank my entire family for always being there for me and helping me with whatever I needed. Well said, Breslin Nichols. Congratulations to all these seniors. LaSalle parents, thank you very much for showing our seniors the love and support throughout their soccer careers, and especially during their time as LaSalle Falcons. This group of boys has certainly experienced quite a successful career, and we look forward to watching you play the rest of the way. Thank you for making us proud. Go Falcons. Christmas, right? Final home game of the regular season. Senior night, just around the corner, state playoffs. It's a fun time to be here. Okay, the OSAA and LaSalle community are committed to a welcoming environment that promotes fair play and respect for all, and we expect the same from each of you here this evening. We request your cooperation in supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Together, we can provide a safe and respectful environment for all. We've got the Northwest Oregon Conference opponent, Centennial Eagles, here with us this evening. And here we go, introducing their roster. Junior, goalkeeper and forward, number 26, Diego Calderon. Junior, defender and midfielder, number 3, Gilberto Gutierrez. Senior, defender, number 4, David Palacios. Junior, defender, midfielder, number 5, Edgar Garcia. Junior, defender, number 6, Jose Donis. Senior, forward, defender, number 7, Benito Uziel Lopez. Junior, forward, number 9, Javier Martinez. Senior midfielder, number 10, Anthony Brambilla. Senior midfielder, number 11, Mario Horogui. Junior forward, number 12, Bashar Mansour. Junior forward, number 13, Micah Landolt. Junior defender, number 14, Fabian Gonzalez. Senior forward, number 15, Michael Jimenez. Freshman forward, number 16, Alejandro Fulgencio. Sophomore midfielder, number 17, Isaac Gonzalez. Senior defender, number 18, Alonso Gonzalez. Senior defender midfielder, number 19.
Hello and welcome to LaSalle High School in Milwaukee, Oregon for the Senior Day game as LaSalle Prep hosts Centennial Eastern in the Northwest Conference finale and the final game before the state playoffs for both of these sides. My name is Seth Lorensky, joined by Ben Efren. And, Ben, we have to start with the run that this LaSalle team is on, and it is unprecedented, even for a coach who's been around for as long as Monty Hawkins. A perfect record in conference thus far at 7-0. This LaSalle Falcons team has outscored their opponents by a 50-1 margin. They've, in their last 9 games, a 9-0 mark, 57-2. They've given up goals in just 2 games. You don't see this at any level, much less a high school level against conference rivals. This is impressive to see, and it's going to be interesting to see how they carry it over on a day where with Senior Day, you never know how players are going to react, but the way LaSalle is playing, it might not matter as they have just been absolutely dominant in conference play.
Yeah, what a heater they're on. I mean, they're really informed play, and just inspired comes to mind. And here we are, senior night, great atmosphere, all kinds of parents there to send off the final home game here before the playoffs, and flowers and balloons and a lot of love and proud parents. But the form that the LaSalle soccer team here, varsity team, is playing is unreal, and it's going to be a treat to watch.
Well, Ben, we're probably going to talk a lot about Vance Sheffield with his 29 goals up front, and Vala Sagafi, 14 goals, 29 assists out of the wing position, and those players are phenomenal. But let's talk a little bit about the midfield that makes this entire group go. Who are some of those players, and kind of what are their roles in helping this impressive offense just constantly create opportunities?
Yeah, the Nichols twins, of course. Really solid players, grew up in a very competitive athletic family, and a KSM. But Sagafi, for me, yeah, I come back to him as a freshman. He's just such a pure talent that I think he makes all these players around him better. And just the way we saw him see the field, his first touch was so delicate and cultured, and I'm excited to watch him play. He looks like he's got a future beyond high school soccer.
Well, Sagafi will play in the attacking midfielder role, the 10 on the opposite side. The other side of that diamond, it'll be Isaac Lyon, the defensive midfielder, who is one of 6 seniors who were honored previous to this game. On the opposite side, Centennial has had a strong season as well. It did not start off well for the Eagles. They started this season 0-4-3, including a forfeit loss. Since then, though, 5-1-1 in conference. They sit second coming into the day. They could fall as far as 4th, but a great start to the year for a team that had their season end a year ago on this field to LaSalle. This is a team that has really turned things around. They rank 18th in the state, one of 5 teams in the conference who rank in the top 18. LaSalle number 5, but you've got Hood River Valley at 9th, Wilsonville 16th, Park Rose 17th, and then Centennial 18th. This Centennial team has their work cut out for them, but as head coach Todd Sachs said, it's also a chance to get in a playoff atmosphere before the playoffs even start.
Yeah, and I think he's had a plan all along. You know, as Coach Sachs was telling us, he picked a tough non-conference schedule, and sure, they took their lumps, but it prepared them to start to roll in conference, and they've got a little bit of momentum on their own, and they're just going to look to slow down this on Fuego LaSalle team and hopefully, possess it and look to get them on the counter.
We're going to take an audio break for the national anthem and be right back here with the Senior Day game between Centennial and LaSalle.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was actually sung.
LaSalle's Booster Club provides funding and volunteer support to all the Falcons' OSAA athletic and activity programs in addition to competitive clubs. All programs can fundraise with the help of the Booster Club, and in return they receive financial support to offset costs for items such as uniform purchases, equipment upgrades, and facility improvements. The Booster Club also contributes 5% of their annual gross income to tuition assistance. Well, Ben, that was an absolutely lovely recorded performance of the national anthem done by a LaSalle student. Very impressive on a night that has already been impressive, honoring those 6 seniors for LaSalle. The 6 seniors tonight: Isaac Lyon, Wyatt Schmidt, Eldon Nichols, Keaton Henry, Jasper Gilly, and Kevin Serrano Maldonado. 6 players, 5 of who started their career during the pandemic right here at LaSalle. They've been together for 4 years. A great group of leaders who are trying to lead this team to yet another state title. This is a program that has consistently had success. We've talked about it in the previous game where we saw the team on the road, but they've won 7 state titles, their most recent in 2021. Finished as runners-up 6 times, and this is a team that sure has expectations of, at minimum, being in that state title game, if not a lot more, as they will take the field in their red unis against the Centennial team in white, where we're not as familiar with this side, but there are some players to watch, and it really starts with the true freshman Alejandro Fulgencio, who's the team's leading scorer as a freshman. He will play up top. And this Centennial team, everything to play for, a chance to finish second, potentially move up. They are ranked 18th, but according to head coach Todd Sachs, that's maybe a misnomer with the schedule they played. So many 6A teams at a conference where they took their lumps, but they're not a team you're really going to want to see in the playoffs, and a team that maybe teams will overlook a little bit because of a misleading ranking.
Yeah, they're ready to go and definitely have something to prove as well. But just back to LaSalle, there's a confidence brimming about them. I liked how nice all the kids were. They just look so happy and comfortable being here tonight. And I think we're going to see something special out there on the field.
LaSalle wrapped up the regular season title on Tuesday with a 7-0 win over Park Rose. They've won their last 4 games, all by shutout, by a combined 30-0 score during a run of unbeaten play here in conference. They've outscored opponents 50-1. So we asked Todd Sachs, how do you slow down this offense? And, well, he gave us an answer. We'll see if they're able to do it. But what did you hear from Todd Sachs that you thought, okay, maybe this could work to at least slow down LaSalle a little bit?
Well, how about just what we see out on the field, that right in the beginning that they just put everybody behind the ball. And, I don't know if they're going to park the bus in the first couple of minutes, but I certainly think they'd just love to string some passes together and not take any kind of chances and grow into the game.
On the opposite side for LaSalle, it's been death by 1,000 cuts recently. It hasn't been just throwing these huge punches. It's just been keeping the ball on the turf, pressing extremely well. And they've been putting up some really impressive results, jumping out on teams 4 or 5-0 by halftime. they haven't had to play their starters the final 20, 30 minutes of a lot of these conference games, as it is LaSalle controlling it in the red unis. Right in front of us, it's Declan O'Brien. O'Brien slides it up, able to find Vance Sheffield. 29 goals on the season, and he still might not be the player of the year just for this team. Sagafi, again, 14 goals, but 29 assists as a true freshman.
And just so much creating and opening space with his control and his ability to shake defenders that, there's no stat line for how much room he's making out there for his teammates.
Long run towards the corner flag, and keeping that one in is Wyatt Schmidt, one of those 6 seniors. Schmidt plays it on the turf, but it's intercepted. Good play to step in front there by Mario Yagari. Ball will go forward, and we've got an offside call. Actually, not an offside call. Out of bounds. A little bit difficult on that far side. Booting the ball towards the center, looking for Schmidt, who gets a head on it right off the head of a Centennial defender. Bouncing around there, and it's Michael Lansalt who will send it out, and it'll be a LaSalle throw-in for Eldon Nichols.
Yeah, when in doubt, get it out. Just some safe defending. It's got to be the game plan to get going here.
Nichols trying to find Vance Sheffield, but it's cleared away. The one thing that Centennial did say is they want to defend extremely well, limit the chances, especially early, and then they need to be successful on the counter. They recognize that they might not get a ton of chances in this contest. So giving space, and the ball, again, just sent in towards Sheffield. A little bit interesting that we've seen a couple of balls through the air. This is a LaSalle team that's been dominating by keeping the ball on the turf and just passing their way through opposing midfields. As it's sent forward by Serrano Maldonado, the man that Monty Hawkins calls KSM, and honestly, why not? It's a great little moniker. On top of the ball there is Breslin Nichols. Dishes it back, and he'll get it right back from his twin Eldon. They are the 3rd and 4th brothers that have come through LaSalle. Their younger brother, River Nichols, is not in the starting lineup today, but typically would be. And their older brothers won a state championship, so they're looking to continue that tradition. As that was Sheffield, who dribbled his way through a couple defenders, eventually lost it. Edge of the box, still controlling it, is Breslin.
You just feel how crafty and elusive he is, and just get the ball at his feet in the box, and he's dangerous.
We are 4 minutes in, and 4 minutes without a goal almost feels like a little bit of a win for any opponent at this point, as Centennial's done a good job of minimizing any chances to this point. No shots on target. We have seen LaSalle with the majority of possession. So the ball is going to be booted out towards midfield, and that's been the one problem for Centennial. Anytime they've gained possession, they've almost immediately given up. They haven't been able to put 2, even 3 passes together to this point. So LaSalle will go to the near side. Working with it is Schmidt. Schmidt, though, is dispossessed, and they'll play it backwards into their own goal box, and Schmidt almost comes away with it, and they're going to say that he was, is it a throw-in or a foul?
It'll be a free kick for the foul.
It's going to be David Palacios who upended Schmidt. This is a dangerous spot just outside the 18. Not a great angle to shoot, but you can swing a ball in there, and you've got a great target in Vance Sheffield.
Vance Sheffield, O'Brien came up off the back line. They're definitely going to try to exploit this free kick.
We're going to stop the clock here as Schmidt is going to have to come off the field.
Yeah, maybe took a little knock there.
And it'll be Cooper Eldon, the sophomore, who will replace him on the near side. Vala Sagafi behind the ball. We're just shy of 5 minutes in. And it's still 0-0. Two-man wall. It looks like the keeper is Alejandro Farfan Rivera. Sagafi boots it towards that back post, just behind one of his teammates, kept alive there by the substitute. That is Eldon just into the game, still controlling the far side. Sheffield amongst a sea of white shirts, and then eventually it's cleared out. The only player in the vicinity is the freshman, Alejandro Fulgencio, who goes by Alex, and eventually he loses possession, but nice job by Centennial there defending the set piece. Ball loose in the midfield. Centennial collects with Brambilla. And eventually they're going to force a throw in deep in the LaSalle half.
Still a conservative number of players coming forward, but that's the game plan.
Javier Martinez. Last year, these two teams met in the second round of the OSAA state tournament. It was a 3-2 contest, but the way this LaSalle team is going, this is uncharted territory for everyone, both for LaSalle and their opponents. 50-1 is just about unheard of. As here's the substitute Eldon. Couldn't quite keep it with him as he brought it down. Chips it towards net, and it's knocked down by Farfan Rivera on the cross. Now, I don't think that Farfan Rivera is related to Marco Farfan, former Portland Timber, who now plays with FC Dallas. But it's interesting. Centennial has churned out 3 players who have gone on to play in MLS, including Marco Farfan, who went to school at Centennial. They also had Scott Benedetti, who was a member of the Timbers from 86 to 89 and 01 to 05.
I'm pretty sure we asked the Farfan question last time, and maybe it's his cousin? There is a relation. We'll have to get some clarification on that.
They also had Josh Cameron, who played from 09 to 10. So it's Eldon who pushes the ball over to Eldon Nichols. So there's now Cooper Eldon and Eldon Nichols. So I'll do my best to remember that Eldon Nichols needs both names. Farfan Rivera spills it, and the ball is popped loose, and it's put in. Vala Sagafi did not make a mistake there after the Farfan Rivera spill, and it's 1-0, just 7:13 in, and that is the last thing you want if you're Centennial. They hadn't given up a shot, and then you drop the ball to one of the top 2 goal scorers on this LaSalle team, and he makes it 15 goals in 15 games.
You just can't make a mistake like that. Hopefully the young man can have a short memory and get himself right back in the game. But the last thing Centennial needed was a pretty obvious and unfortunate error to cost them.
So a 51st goal now against 1 goal conceded in conference play. And these next 5 minutes are so essential for both teams. For Centennial, you absolutely cannot concede a second as KSM controls. And he'll take a left-footed shot that just goes wide. They're going to say it was actually tipped wide by a defender and out for a corner. But that would have been devastating if you're Centennial. And for right now, if you're this LaSalle team, you've already seen one mistake from the keeper. You've got to challenge him and hope that you can get a second or third goal early and maybe take away some of the potential drama in your regular season finale.
Yeah, that didn't miss by that much. I feel like he underestimated the potential of that going in, and he nearly paid a steep price, potentially still, unfortunately, ruminating over the last mistake.
Serrano Maldonado got it back from Sagafi, thought about giving it back. Now he chips to the back post, and a great job heading it away by the defender. That was Edgar Garcia with Sheffield looming.
Yeah, necessary intervention.
A little bit of holding there by a LaSalle player, and that'll force the free kick the other way. But 1-0 already, could have been 2. And these are important moments despite being this early in the game, still in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just important for the psyche of Centennial to feel that they look like they belong here and that they can try to impose a little bit of their own will.
Both of these teams will play in the OSAA state tournament. The final rankings will come out after today's contest, but there's still a lot to be made in terms of seeding. Even if you're Centennial and you lose this game, you want to make it respectable. You want to have some confidence going into states rather than being yet another team that ends up suffering a blowout loss. The closest game that LaSalle has played in Northwest Conference play is 5-0. They've played a ton of 7-1, 7-0, 8-0 games. It's been as dominant a stretch as you could possibly imagine in soccer. I mean, obviously in basketball you can win games by 50, but you don't see goal differences of 5, 6, 7, 8. Every conference game has been by at least a 5-goal margin, and they've now scored 78 goals here early in their 15th game of the season.
They've been in dreamland as a team. It's just a matter of sustaining it, but I think they've really found something in the belief in each other, and this is a special group of young men.
Well, and Monty Hawkins said one of the things that's been so essential during this streak as they've been lethal in front of goal. And that wasn't the easiest chance for Sagafi. He's 21, 22 yards out. You've got a tall keeper who had his hands up. You had a defender going back, and Sagafi just made it look extremely easy with his finish.
Really cool and calm, especially he's a freshman, and a lot of times, you see a big piece of the open net, and your heart rate goes up, and you just come at the ball a little quick, and you don't show the maturity, and you can lean back and put it over, but his touch was deft, and the finish was lethal.
Controlled right now by Centennial, who's just trying to grow into this game, but there's a turnover, and see how quickly LaSalle turns from defense to offense. So they'll slide it out wide. This is Cooper Eldon. Eldon bringing it back for Declan O'Brien, and eventually it is poked out of bounds for a throw.
Good step by Edgar Garcia, well defended.
It's a chilly evening. It's been a chilly week here in the greater Portland area, but there's quite a few fans in the stands in shorts and T-shirts.
Some people just refuse to wear pants, let's face it.
I'm confused by the people who refuse to wear shoes and have to wear sandals in weather like this. But
I have a good friend like that. We ride our bikes down to the Timbers game, and he always shows up in shorts and a sweatshirt, and I have an in-law that has the same affliction.
Ball comes back to the near side. It's Declan O'Brien with it, wearing the captain's armband. Interesting because he's just a sophomore, but he wears the armband today. Wonder if it's a revolving armband or if he is the captain of captains, because they've got quite a few good leaders.
Tasty one, too.
Eldon all the way through, and again, it's cleared out. That back post defender, who is number 19, Luis Fulgencio, the older brother of the forward Alex Fulgencio, has done a great job. He's had a couple of important headers and interventions, and he was able to step in front as he's been tasked with trying to slow down Van Sheffield. I don't say shut down, but slow down for a player who has 29 goals on the year and has had multiple goals in 10 or 11 games this season.
I'm sure there's some internal competition going on amongst this team that's on fire. And Sagafia got one, and I'm sure his buddy Vance can't wait to get the next one.
Hasn't had a chance yet as Sheffield keeps the play alive, and it's a long high boot from Anthony Brambilla. Comes all the way out. Last defender back is Connor Garvey. Garvey's dispossessed, handled there by Mario Yagari. Yagari, though, pushed off the ball, still fighting for it, and it's picked up by O'Brien. O'Brien looks upfield, wants Sheffield, and headed away nicely by Edgar Garcia.
Good hustle by Jagari, though. He nearly got through on that, and a couple bites with most of your guys back is what it's going to take.
Throw-in will come back to Connor Garvey, the junior on this team. Plays it all the way across, and that's Kevin Serrano Maldonado, who also wears an armband. There's an early sub already waiting to check on for Centennial. We saw the early sub for LaSalle as they had an injury sub with Wyatt Schmidt coming off, and we've got a whistle against the Eagles. And they're going to push this back slightly. Kevin Serrano Maldonado behind the ball. 1-0.
Number 18.
18 is Alonzo Gonzalez, the senior back. Almost 15 minutes in. It's a 1-0 game on the goal from Vala Sagafi as he was given a gift. The goalie spilled the ball right to him, and he was able to put it in from 21 yards out. Straight away, it's Sagafi here with it. Able to push it across for Eldon Nichols for Cooper Eldon.
Sagafi never seems to expend any energy, and he never loses the ball.
Are you jealous?
I'm very impressed with him. The young man's going somewhere in this game as a freshman and playing at such a high level already.
Serrano Maldonado pings that one off a defender. Van Sheffield comes back to get it. And a great sliding tackle from who else? Edgar Garcia, who's been impressive in the early going. On the throw-in, bouncing around. It'll come all the way back for Fabian Gonzalez. A little bit of control here for Centennial. They only have the one player forward. Push it out wide, looking for Yagari, and Yagari keeps it alive, but it's picked up easily by Kevin Serrano Maldonado.
Yeah, just a hair too much pace on the pass, but like you were saying, LaSalle's Centennial's growing into the match a little bit more possession.
Well, they survived those next 5 minutes after the goal, despite looking a little shaky in the immediate first minute afterwards.
And the truth is, there hasn't been a great build-up, goal. They have not had their defense unlocked. It was just the unfortunate heavy touch by the keeper.
It's only the one shot. It was on target. It was with a goalie out of net. So I think for Centennial, if you subtract that one play, you've got to be really happy with how you've played. Obviously, you don't want to be trailing on the scoreboard, but seem to have executed the game plan defensively to this point.
And as you were saying, I think it's all still part of Coach Sachs's bigger picture plan here, that a close loss to a team in form like LaSalle is going to give the Centennial Eagles a nice little boost going into the playoff tournament.
Lyon tries to slide it to the near side. Stepping in front was Micah Landolt, but ultimately unable to keep it in play.
And the veteran savvy to knock it a little farther away so he could regain his defensive position.
Landolt is a junior, listed as a forward, but he's playing in the midfield today. Controlled by Lyon, looking up, will play it on the turf for Sheffield, who's been controlled to this point. Has yet to really get a good look within the box. There have only been the 2 shots, I should say. That second shot went wide of the goal off the foot of KSM, but it was a lot closer to goal than it looked like Alejandro Farfan Rivera expected. The keeper a little slow to react after it was tipped by one of his teammates. Here's a turnover, and picking it up is Alex Fulgencio through 2 defenders.
What a burst.
And coming all the way across and making an important intervention is Jasper Gilly, one of those 6 seniors. And we've got a stoppage as Cooper Eldon was taken out. But that was the first real chance of any kind for Centennial going forward, 1v4. And Fulgencio, with his pace, able to beat 2 of the defenders, and then that heavy touch just enough to let Gilly come over and make the play.
Yeah, that was a tall order to try to get through all 4 of them, and he nearly pulled it off. Good burst, good energy, and teeny tiny bit of a chance for Centennial.
O'Brien into no man's land and easily cleared away, only as far as KSM though. KSM able to find Vala Sagafi. Sagafi dribbles through 2 and eventually it's poked loose. Here comes Centennial with 3 players this time. Feels like Mario Ugari has been involved in every one of their counterattacking options. They do have some pace, and this is out on the wing. Not sure the number, but a good play going forward and forcing the throw-in was Luis Fulgencio.
Yeah, great burst. I mean, that just one little heavy touch, but he was making some noise up that right channel.
We finally get that sub. Javier Martinez, the player coming off. Alonzo Gonzalez, who's been waiting there for a while, will check on. 21-46. We're almost at the midway point of the half, and this has been a pretty tightly contested battle. Only the 1 shot on target, as that did not quite stay in. And I think this is really good if you're Centennial, coming at 5-1-1 in conference. All 5 of your wins coming in conference play. You sit second in the conference. You know that if you lose, you'll fall to 3rd, maybe 4th, likely 4th, as the team currently sitting in 4th place is playing last place Canby, who's 0-7 in conference play. But the good news is, as you talked about, I think there is such thing as a moral victory for a team heading into the state tournament and knowing they're heading into the state tournament. This game does not matter in terms of either team's future of getting into the state tournament or of who wins the conference. That's already been decided, as we've got a stoppage. There was a little bit of kicking the ball there, and we'll get
in a way, it's like swinging a baseball bat with a donut on it. I don't think they're going to play a team in the form of LaSalle unless they meet LaSalle again in the tournament.
Landolt on the restart and a good ball into the box. There was only the 1 runner. That was Luis Fulgencio. But again,
Connor Garvey, I mean, that was a necessary intervention. I think that was going to fall on the head of the attacker, and that was the most dangerous moment to this point for Centennial.
Centennial's had many chances. They haven't had that first real chance, but they've looked a lot better recently as Sagafi throws off a defender who was trying to hold on to him, keeps control, and he'll keep the ball alive, pushing it across for Eldon Nichols. as far back as Connor Garvey, who just made that big, important defensive intervention. Serrano Maldonado pushes that one far up the field, and eventually it's going to be out of bounds for a goal kick, a little bit of cat and mouse play.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That was exactly cat and mouse. It was well defended, and a great little fakey escort off the end line.
Top two teams in the Northwest Conference, and it's been a pretty tightly contested game. The lone goal coming in the first 8 minutes from Valasagafi. Here on Oregon Sports Beat, my name is Seth Renski, joined by Ben Efren. Senior day for the Falcons as they look for their 10th consecutive victory. Move to 12-3. Great play by Cooper Eldon to keep it alive. He tries to cross it, goes off of him, off the defender, and they will say, finally, off of the defenders. That was David Palacios, who almost pushed that back off of Eldon, as we'll see a corner kick, and this time it's going to be KSM by himself. Serrano Maldonado got that beautiful left-footed in-swinger.
Just great hold-up play by Sheffield. He took that so softly off the chest and laid it down for a teammate.
Serrano Maldonado into the 6, and again the goalie struggles with it, headed away only as far as Eldon. That gets knocked down by Landolt with the goal line clearance.
Landolt, I don't know how much of that he knew. You know, he knew
Here's
about
Sheffield
that.
in the box. Sheffield looking for the left-footed shot, comes across, and Eldon puts it in, and it will be a good goal despite the protests. So we've got a handball claim coming from Centennial, who's saying, hey, Sheffield brought it down with the hand. And then even potentially an offside at Eldon to the back post, but they say it's a good goal. Sheffield not credited with goal number 30, but he does pick up the assist. And the substitute, Cooper Eldon, the 10th grader, picks up the goal to make this a 2-0 game just past the midway point of the first half.
Well, he'll tell you it's a skill to stay onside, and it is. And the linesman was right there in position, so better vantage point than we had. I didn't really see a handball. It looked like it kind of caught him on the on the armpit, shoulder area. Without the benefit of instant replay, I think you got to go play on here, and another nice goal. Just an easy little tap in on the far post.
So 2-0 now. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Not exactly what you want, and that play all started, and I'm not trying to pour it on, but Farfan Rivera unable to catch that initial corner kick. That allowed the play to extend. They were able to get it out, but not fully out of the defensive third. And right now, if you're Centennial, you just need your keeper to be a little bit more successful, as a heavy tackle from Fulgencio. That's Alex Fulgencio.
Here comes the warning right out of Kevin, my old buddy, who happens to be the center referee today, an ex-teammate, really swell feller, and pretty level-headed. I've had Kevin ref a bunch of our games, and like I said, been his teammate, and he keeps his emotions under check, and I think he runs and sees the game pretty well. So these young men have a good referee tonight.
Well, and the biggest thing about this is a regular season finale. You don't want anyone to pick up a red card in a game like this and miss a state playoff game and potentially hurt your team's chances of going forward. So everybody wants to keep a level-headed, players included, as that will go off Sheffield last and be out for a goal kick. Talk about that lethal finishing that Monty Hawkins was talking about. We've seen it. They've had 3 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals, and I don't think we've seen the amount of chances we expected for LaSalle, but if you're able to finish all of the chances you get, you're probably going to be scoring a fair bit of goals.
What's so interesting is that it just speaks to the kind of the confidence and the unfortunate, couple of bobbles for the keeper. It's just LaSalle is playing with so much confidence. They just expect it to happen, and sort of through osmosis, it has happened. And Centennial has looked a little bit shaky at moments, and now they're down 2-0.
All loose. Kevin Serrano Maldonado able to knock it away. Sheffield comes all the way back to corral it. 2 defenders in front, trying to cut through them, and eventually loses it to Garcia. Garcia, though, only able to get as far as Declan O'Brien. O'Brien all the way across looking for a teammate. Cleared out into the midfield. First touch for the substitute Gonzalez. Able to find Fulgencio, who avoided the yellow card after that heavy tackle at the warning.
There's plenty of purpose about Centennial. They're definitely working hard out there. They just need to string a few more passes like they're doing right now.
Yeah, this has been their most sustained pressure of the contest. And just as I say that, Serrano Maldonado comes away with the loose ball, but they give it right back. I think.
Yeah, it was a hurried touch. Haven't been many from LaSalle, though.
Anytime you see your opposing team having as much success as there's a ball slid through for Fulgencio, and I believe that's the first touch of the game for Adam Clem, the junior keeper for LaSalle. But I've been impressed by Mario Ugari, number 11 in white.
Really explosive on the ball. He held it and made all that on his own.
Ugari and Fulgencio have been the two players, that's Ugari with it there, who have provided the most issues for LaSalle. They're still looking for their first shot, but this has been better going forward. And again, despite the fact that LaSalle has been absolutely dominant in conference, this is a strong Northwest Conference. I mean, you look at it, the Northwest Oregon Conference has 5 teams ranked in the top 18 in the OSAA 5 rankings, including multiple teams in the top 10. Just because you're the 5th ranked team of the group does not mean that you're not an extremely talented team.
No, there's a lot of talent out there. I mean, Landolt just pulled off a couple nice little step overs from his defensive position to regain possession. He's a nice little player. They're definitely, both sides have a lot of guys that are playing at a high level.
It'll be Sagafi to take this free kick. He's already got a goal and helped set up that second one. Just over 13 minutes and 30 seconds left. Sagafi deep, looking for Sheffield. Cleared out as far as the top of the box, headed right back in, and he'll come out for Sagafi. Comes back to the near side for Eldon, the most recent goal scorer, and Cooper Eldon will draw the throw-in. He and Kevin Serrano Maldonado go back and forth. Double team comes, and it's kept alive, but a nice sliding tackle there by who else? Mario Ugari, who gets it and is upended there by Kevin Serrano Maldonado.
Be a free kick for the Eagles.
Yeah, got blocked off and took a shot there.
We'll take a brief stoppage to check on Ugari, and he will be attended to. And with that, let's take a moment talk a little bit more about the Booster Club. The Booster Club will have its largest fundraiser of the year on January 27th. Their annual steak and seafood, all-you-can-eat buffet, and microbrew tasting event is always a sellout. Tickets go on sale the second week of December, so put the date on your calendar to purchase tickets and attend on the 27th of January. It's a fun event, and all proceeds benefit LaSalle's athletic and activity program. 12:50 to go as they continue to check on Ugari. He's back on his feet, hopefully able to continue because he has been extremely strong in this contest to this point. So we'll see LaSalle head over to their bench.
Yeah, good unity out here, and the Booster Club is such a great way to stay connected to your school year after year.
Ugari is going to walk off with the trainer next to him. And we'll see if probably done for the first half, but hopefully back out there for half number 2.
Yeah, he's looked like the most explosive player for Centennial. That'd be a devastating loss.
Yeah, he and Fulgencio have looked fast.
Fast and pretty adept with the ball at their feet. Not, asking some questions and just about getting in there. But they've had to do it alone. There hasn't been a lot of team build-up. There haven't been overlapping runs. There just hasn't been a commitment in numbers, and it's pretty understandable. But And maybe you stay that way the whole game. I mean, it's what do you want to do? You want to lose 7-1, or you want to lose 3 or 4-0?
You're about to get back underway. Centennial will have the ball on the free kick deep inside their own half. It's a 2-0 game on goals from Sagafi and Cooper Eldon. And that is a dangerous pass from left to right, but able to come back and make the play. That was Fabian Gonzalez. Controlled here by Sagafi. Sagafi with numbers 4 finds Sheffield. Sheffield has the defender front. He twists and turns. Did not draw contact according to the AR or the head referee, who were both chasing the play. That kind of just shows the speed and pace of that counterattack. Is Sagafi found Sheffield with a great ball, but give credit to the defender Edgar Garcia, who's just kind of tracking Sheffield wherever he goes. He was able to stay in front and force Sheffield to have to take an extra touch there instead of just rip it with the right foot.
Yeah, try to really turn on a dime and just lost his footing, but Sagafi just a well-weighted, and the timing in this kid's feet is very impressive.
LaSalle controlling in their back 4.
Recent substitutions. One for the Eagle is number 7, Benito Lucio Lopez. And for the Falcons, number 2, Henry Foubert.
So we've had a pair of substitutions.
Oh, Sheffield working hard to get around, and don't think he's going to get the call on that one either.
Henry Foubert into the game for LaSalle. Not quite sure on the opposite side for who came in for the injured Yagari. As here's Sheffield again looking to get loose, looking for the left-footed shot right into the back of the leg of Fabian Gonzalez. The shot from distance. It's Kevin Serrano. Maldonado picks up the loose ball and floats that one in. Upper right corner. It's 3-0.
Dipping topspin, the left boot. What a beautiful touch. And things are just flowing for LaSalle. And the chances are coming now, and they really look fantastic.
It was Sheffield with a great look, and the ball just bounced out to Serrano. Maldonado didn't take a touch. He just put it in, and absolutely kind of caught me by surprise that the ball was floating up. But a great play by KSM, an unassisted goal, and it's 3-0 now. 2 goals scored in the last 8 minutes, 7.5. And all of a sudden, this is another one of those games where things just get away from LaSalle's opponents, or if you're glass half full, where LaSalle just begins to dominate.
They're beginning to dominate. I mean, that wasn't the easiest chance. He didn't need a ton of power. He just needed the technique and to catch it with some topspin and really to go over the goalie who wasn't terribly out of position and have it dip behind him and splash the back of the net, and that's exactly what happened.
The interesting part about this game is I would not say that LaSalle has been 3 goals better, but I would say they've been absolutely clinical in their finishing.
Yeah. I mean, still the majority of the match has been played in the Centennial back third here.
Well, absolutely. But that is not an easy finish. As Sagafi plays in and the ball bounces around, kept alive, and they'll say offside.
A free kick for the Eagles.
As they will turn the ball over to Centennial. I mean, Ben, it's been impressive to see. They've had 4 shots, 3 of them on target, all 3 for goals, and the fourth one didn't look like much, and it still almost went on target, and it would have been a goal as the goalie was a little slow to react.
And in a way, to the earlier point, it's just like this collective team consciousness that is just full of winning.
Well, 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers, and we still haven't seen a goal from Van Sheffield, who's almost averaging 2 goals a game.
Yeah, he's ready to get into this party.
Sheffield came in with 29 on the season, the junior, and doesn't have one yet here in the first half. Does have an assist, But when you're playing that center forward role, you always want the goal, right?
Yeah, you want the goal. You want to be part of the offensive play. The assists are pretty nice. Of course, the final touch is even nicer. And as a hunter, assassin, tip of the spear kind of player, he wants his.
We get a free kick right in front of the LaSalle bench.
It's funny, he's been hanging out very offsides, and he knows it, and he's almost had a little conversation with the linesman there.
It'll be Fabian Gonzalez behind the ball. Gonzalez towards the top of the 18, bounced down off the head of a LaSalle player, and Vala Sagafi's the first one to it.
There he jogs back to help in the hold-up play.
Ball is loose. Sagafi couldn't quite hold on. Still pinging around, and Sagafi on it for a third time. Pushes it out wide and able to find Fobert, the substitute. Fobert into the middle of the field for Serrano Maldonado, who scored the most recent goal. We've got a stoppage as Serrano Maldonado absolutely crushed a shot that time the keeper, Farfan Rivera, was able to knock down. But first we had a whistle. To me, that looks like number 12, Bashar Mansour, but I might be wrong.
No, it's number 10.
Okay, it's number 10, Anthony Brambilla, who went down early in the play.
Yeah, holding his left shin. And good sportsmanship on Isaac Lyon to come back and give him an apology and make sure he's okay. Probably initiated the blow. And another high five.
Third player that we've seen banged up here in the first half. And, I mean, the biggest thing from this game is you don't want to take away any key injuries because you're going to be playing in the state playoffs next week because we're going to readjust the clock to 7:58. So just under 8 minutes to go. 3 goals already from LaSalle. Ball is played around, and it's controlled here by O'Brien. Foubert with
Great footwork.
Yeah, Foubert able to keep it alive for Eldon Nichols, and now it's Sagafi who whips it just wide. Great look, but couldn't quite keep it as he dragged it just a bit inside, and we'll see a substitution coming for the visiting Centennial Eagles. It's Lanault off, and coming on is number 20, Suro Poe. Poe, excuse me. New addition to the varsity roster, and he'll play on the near side, replacing like for Lanault, who one of those players who's kind of stood out for Centennial, despite not having a ton of the ball, despite not having a ton of chances. Lanault did a nice job when he was on top of the balls. There's a bad turnover to the far side. Quick shot gets knocked down in the box by Garcia. A look from Breslin Nichols, and that's one of those where down 3-0, you can ill afford to just be giving the ball away at the top of your own box.
No, and Landau was getting back and taking care of a lot of defensive responsibilities. So Ho, who just got in here, is going to need to track back and not have a letdown in that department. A lot of running when you're playing the channel.
Ball bounces around, and Farfan Rivera will collect. This is a Centennial Eagles high school that has won a lot of state championships in a lot of different sports. 11 different sports at Centennial have won a state championship, including 4 in dance and drill, 2 in marching band, 2 in choir, and 1 in bass fishing.
Bass fishing, I had no idea you could win anything in bass fishing.
Well, I mean, that sets up as this shot will go wide. First shot of the contest for Centennial, but dragged wide as we will get a substitute for the Eagles. And let's get you that sub before I tell you about some of the state championships that LaSalle has won. Looks like number 11.
Yeah, who took the knock earlier and is.
So it's Mario Yagari back in.
Yeah.
That is great news.
Great news.
So we talked about some of the championships Centennial has won. Well, LaSalle's won some more traditional titles. We talked about it in the Open, 7 boys soccer state titles, but they've won 3 in chess, 3 in golf, and the 2006 doubles racquetball national championship.
How about
So
that?
There's some powers out in this Northwest Oregon game in multiple sports. I didn't know you could win a state championship in chess. I was in chess club in middle school, and I was not good.
It's tough. My little brother continually beats up on me. He actually studied it for a year and has real openings, and it shows every time we play.
I think I just struggle to think 3 or 4 moves ahead. It's just the immediacy that really causes these issues.
And there's just so much history. I mean, somebody that just plays and is a reasonably bright person, I win some and lose some. My cousins, and we go back and forth. But my little brother, he just has strategies and opening choreographed moves, and I do this, and now he knows how to kill me, and it's frustrating.
Now back to your regularly scheduled soccer broadcast as the ball is played forward for Sheffield along the goal line, able to keep it alive. Great job by Sheffield. And he will dish it off for Eldon Nichols. It's cleared out, but again, all of these clearances, the only outlet is Fulgencio, the true freshman who has looked good, but just hasn't had a ton of the ball. His marauding run about midway through the half was one of the 2 best chances we've seen to this point for Centennial, who did get their first shot of the contest, but it was well wide. Don't have a shot on target. On the opposite side, LaSalle has had 3 shots on target, and the 1 shot that Farfan Rivera made a great save on, a diving parry save, didn't count because the referee had blown his whistle moments before for a player safety issue. Nichols sliding it back for O'Brien. O'Brien looking for Fala Zagafi, and instead it's cleared all the way. Fulgencio on a dead sprint, 2 defenders back, and a great job, confident job by Connor Garvey just to make the simple play.
Yeah, and the athleticism has been there on Centennial and these marauding runs, but you just can't do it yourself. It's just such a bigger ask.
Lyon pushes it down the sideline for a teammate. Diving tackle, dangerous, kept alive, and driving towards the goal, getting taken out, and they'll say corner kick, not penalty. Stop the clock, though, as we still have a player down. That's a Centennial player who went down trying to slow down the run there of Isaac Lyon, who did a great job, and that was a dangerous tackle. They say that it was all ball, but it still results in a corner kick after some really good counterattacking work from LaSalle.
Yeah, Fabian Gonzalez down on the far sideline there. Hopefully he's okay.
Gonzalez has been playing the right back spot and playing it well.
Backup keeper getting warm with some good drills. It's a cold night.
So Gonzalez is going to be lifted off the field, and that is not a great
Now
sign.
onto the mounts, number 19,
Not at all.
Luis Fulgencio.
So it's Luis
Last play
Fulgencio,
resulted in a corner kick for the
who
Falcons.
is the senior older brother of Alex Fulgencio. And it'll be a corner kick. Not quite sure who's taking this one from the far side with the right foot. They'll leave it off for Sagafi. Sagafi looking for the left-footed cross, and that one didn't stay in play, and will go out for a goal kick with under 3 to play here in the first half. Three goals. Val Sagafi, Cooper Eldon, and Kevin Serrano Maldonado on 3 shots on target for LaSalle Prep, who has now scored 53 goals and conceded once in Northwest Oregon Conference play. That is an insane number.
Yeah, beyond hot. They're white hot. I mean, these guys, and at the right time. I mean,
Off the goal kick, it's Serrano Maldonado who wins the ball on the second touch. Loose for Foubert. Back for Garvey. And the tough part about this is we keep talking about the offense, and it's well-deserved. But they've given up 1 goal in conference play. you got to give a lot of credit to this defense as well, and they haven't had to do a ton, but we've seen some important interventions, and this is a defense that will probably keep them in those games where maybe they don't score early, they don't score often, and they need to win one of those 1-0, 2-1 games. This defense certainly seems capable of shutting down most opponents. They've certainly done it during this 9-game, potentially 10-game winning streak heading in to the postseason, as they are 41 minutes and 33 seconds away from going in to the tournament with a 10-game winning streak in which, to this point, they've only given up 2 goals.
Just the body language, the team chemistry, the intangibles, they're just really playing as a unit, and it's showing, and coach has a lot to be proud of, the form they're in.
I think the interesting thing is Monty Hawkins has been around. He's coached at the college level. He's coached at the high school level. He's won state championships. He's never seen anything like what his team is doing right now. He's had undefeated seasons. This team had 3 losses early. In fact, they started 2-3, if you can believe that. But the current streak they're on, it just kind of made him chuckle. He couldn't quite describe it, and he just hopes that it lasts until the end of the OSAA 5A state championships, because at that point this will go down as likely one of the better teams in LaSalle history, which is saying a lot.
Saying a lot. Yeah, and it's the team chemistry. I mean, they've got great players. Sagafi's a great player. They've got great players, but they're just playing for each other, and it clearly shows.
20 seconds before halftime, and a rare touch for Adam Clem, who's not had to make a save. And I think you can count the amount of touches he's had with one hand. As Sheffield, with 8 seconds left, gets taken down. They will blow the whistle, but only with 5 seconds left. Lyon wants to look. He'll play it on the turf, and eventually it's knocked out.
Yeah, you don't get that at the other levels, but that's like the professional foul in high school. Let's kill the half.
So, Ben, 3-0. I think the finishing has been clinical. I don't think we've seen the best that LaSalle has to offer, but maybe that speaks to how impressive this team is, that they haven't created constant chances. They don't have a ton of shots. They don't have a ton of shots on target, but 3 shots on goal, 3 goals. I mean,
the team engine is warm. They are just playing as a cohesive team that goes back to the body language, the chemistry. They're playing for each other. It's not a bunch of incredible, superior athleticism, and it just happens in sports. And this is a good team.
Well, and how much does that help going into the state playoffs, where you're not dependent on one player who, unfortunately, could pick up a knock, could pick up a card and have to sit at an important juncture, could even have to miss because they get sick. I mean,
or could get shut down by a good defensive game plan. And frustrated, but there's just so many options here that LaSalle, they're just in impressive form. And I keep going back to it, but it's fun to watch. It's just as a team. I like watching Sagafi. Sheffield's a great player. They've got great players, but they're just, everybody's moving without the ball, and the whole unit, the whole band sounds good.
Before we go to break, the Oregon Athletic Officials Association and the Oregon School Activities Association are recruiting officials for the high school winter sports season. There is an immediate need for officials in basketball and wrestling. Becoming a high school official has several benefits, including staying involved in athletics, maintaining good physical condition, and earning money, according to OAOA Executive Director Jack Folliard. Oregon has an urgent need for officials in all sports, Folliard said. Officials provide valuable service to high school and students, make a positive impact in the community, and build relationships. Those interested should visit www.newofficials.org. We're going to take an audio break, and we'll be back in just about 8 minutes, as it's 3-0 at halftime in favor of LaSalle. LaSalle's Booster Club provides funding and volunteer support to all the Falcons' OSAA athletic and activity programs in addition to competitive clubs. All programs can fundraise with the help of the Booster Club, and in return, they receive financial support to offset costs for items such as uniform purchases, equipment upgrades, and facility improvements. The Booster Club also contributes 5% of their annual gross income to tuition assistance. Welcome back for half number 2 of this Oregon Northwest Oregon Conference. Whatever reason, that is still tripping me up. My name is Seth Ransky, joined by Ben Efford. It is 3-0 in favor of the host LaSalle Prep over the Centennial Eagles. And Ben, I'm not sure if we've seen the best that LaSalle has to offer. It'll be interesting to see just how much they keep some of these starters in. They've only been playing their starters for about 50 minutes during this run, where they've won 9 consecutive games and in conference have outscored their opponents 53-1. They're 40 minutes away from a perfect 8-0 conference season. They've already clinched the title. The trophy is actually about 5 feet to our right here in the Northwest Oregon Conference, but it'll be interesting to see just how hard they go in these final 40 minutes, knowing that that state tournament, what they've really been working to all season long, is just around the corner.
Yeah, you want to stay fresh and injury-free, ready for the big push for the hardware. But I imagine Vance Sheffield wants to get in there and get a goal before he gets subbed off and gives way to some of the other younger players.
Yeah, and I want to correct some of the stats that I tried to write, and then my pen died partially because of the cold. Valis Sagafi now has 15 goals and 19 assists, not 29, which would be an incredible number. On the other hand, Vance Sheffield does have 29 goals and has 7 assists to his credit as well. Believe that includes his first half assist.
Prolific scorer.
So it's Centennial going from left to right here in half number 2, controlling along the near side as they look to get something going. This is the player who's been involved with all their best chances. It's Mario Yagari, but he's dispossessed by Lyon. Lyon back and forth, working with it for his Breslin Nichols, and eventually it'll go out of play and back to the Eagles.
Yagari is explosive, but I feel like they're almost asking too much of him. It's just one guy can't weave his way through an entire team.
Well, Ben, how much of that is, in this case, dependent on the opponent? I mean, you'd have to assume that Centennial, who is a team who's won 5 games in conference, they come in at 5-1-1, second in the Northwest Oregon Conference. They've scored a fair bit of goals. How much of that do you think is just being extra, ultra conservative to avoid having another one of those 7-8-0 losses that everybody else in the conference has suffered?
Yeah, they have put a lot of numbers behind the ball, and it's 3, and there were long stretches where LaSalle really wasn't getting a lot of quality chances. There's been great play out of Centennial as well. A couple unfortunate, mistakes that they paid for.
It was 1-0 midway through this game, or midway through the first half, I should say. Still pretty much midway through this game, before 2 quick strikes from Cooper Eldon and Kevin Serrano Maldonado made it a 3-0 game just before the 30-minute mark. This one is booted out, and it'll be a...
And a team in LaSalle's form, they've been so clinical with the chances they've gotten. There hasn't been one wasted chance. Their efficiency is off the chart right now.
Throw-in coming right in front of their own bench as they look for Cooper Eldon, who came on early and hasn't left the field since. So you have to wonder. I think it was Wyatt Schmidt who had to come off early for an injury. Hopefully he's okay, and this is precautionary. Although Cooper Eldon has not looked like he is struggling in that spot in any way. And a big part of your success if you're a team like LaSalle is you can bring in some of those subs and you don't see any change in terms of the talent and also the efficiency in those spots.
And you want those guys to get some minutes here going into the playoffs, and
they've probably had some of their subs see more minutes than they would in a normal season because they've been playing so many blowouts.
Sure.
Valis Sagafi draws yet another foul. He's one of those players who's got to draw 5 to 6 fouls a game just because he's so nifty with the ball. He just kind of dances with it.
Just gliding around the pitch. Very omnidirectional and light on his feet.
Sagafi will be behind this free kick. He's got a number of players to the right. Slides it through, looking for Sheffield, gets a foot on it. Put it out wide. I think that's one where he'd rather be able to dip down with his head, but he was caught in between.
Caught in between, but he wants that back. I don't know if he fully believed it was coming through. And it arrived on his doorstep.
Give credit to Centennial. Quite a few of those balls have been aimed at him off those free kicks around the box. And they haven't been able to get all the way through because of the defensive work from Centennial. That one actually slipped through, and Sheffield not quite able to get there. This one is in errant clearance. Rarity coming from Connor Garvey as it'll be kept alive by Centennial. They flick it towards the middle, but Fulgencio, this is Luis, the older brother who came off the bench, is not going to get there in time. Lanault will slide it along the turf, and Centennial doing a better job of controlling the ball early in the half. That's something they did not do much of at all in the first half. Lanault looking up, has a couple players forward. It's Yagari who chest traps it down. Yagari looking to turn, still with it, a sea of red in front, and he'll have to slow it down and eventually pushes it back for Lanault, who started this whole play. Lanault, heavy touch, but that heavy touch was influenced by a little bit of a shove.
Yeah, good free kick opportunity here for Centennial. Try to get on the board. We'll see how many big bodies they commit, and it doesn't look like they still have a great appetite to.
5 players forward, but only the 2 make it 3 in the box right now.
Here comes a late run at a 17.
They slip it on the turf into the box, left-footed cross, and Clem bobbled, but able to find it. And that's one of those where, as a goalie, you're just happy to see that it's not squirting behind you.
Adam Clem.
Yeah, kept it in front of him, but a little bit of a dangerous moment.
That's as close as he's been to making a save. I still think that was a cross rather than a shot. But
yeah, a little something off the training ground for Centennial. Looking for the delivery in the box, and they fooled us as well and got a nice open run up the flank.
It's LaSalle probing here in the attacking half. This has been a much better start for Centennial. First 10 minutes of the first half, they were really just pinned into their own end and trailing 1-0 after the early goal from Sagafi. Here's Sagafi pushing it forward for Nichols, who can't quite get there. That time it was Breslin. One of the 3 Nichols brothers on the team this year, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of 5 who have all come through this LaSalle program and all had a ton of success. It's interesting, in talking to Monty Hawkins, he said that Breslin, along with Eldon, a little bit of late bloomers, but they've really come into their own this season, and they've been not only fantastic leaders, but fantastic players on this team. A big reason why this team has made the jump. After losing the semifinals last year, that's really the minimum bar for this program. At least make it to the semifinals. But
they look like a team on a mission.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this team is ranked 5th, I think, is much more about where they started this season at 2 and 3 than it is how they've been playing at this point of the year.
Right, one of those ESPN
well, I'm not going to
power ranking kind of deals. Maybe they're a little higher than 5th at this point.
Yeah, I think it's all with the math, and as someone who likes math in sports, I agree with it, but I don't think it necessarily is able to quite understand just how dominant this LaSalle team has been in a good Northwest Oregon Conference, as this one will come back for a foul. I mean, there's 5 teams in the top 18 of the conference, despite the fact that one team has been not head and shoulders, but, I mean, what, a waist above everybody else?
Men amongst boys in how many ever games that this streak has been alive.
This is the 8th and final conference game. 7-0, outscored opponents 50-1 coming in, now 53-1.
That's insane.
I mean, the scary part is, so let's do a little bit of math on the fly. So 53 goals over 8, you're talking almost 7 goals a game. They would need 3 more to be a true 7 goals a game. And then the 1 goal allowed, I think it's a 0.125 goals against average in conference.
It'd be interesting to see a highlight of that 1 goal and what happened.
Yeah,
what the quality or the what happened?
I guarantee you, if you ask the keeper and the defenders who were on the field for that goal, they could tell you exactly what happened and why it stinks.
You know, I think that it pays progressive dividends. A record like that, I mean, how can Centennial not step out on the field and be worried they're going to get their butts kicked?
Well, I think it gives you a mental advantage to begin every single game. When you see those numbers, and they're doing it against good teams. I mean, you look at some of the teams in this conference, I'm pretty sure Park Rose is a team that just beat the #1 team it was either Park Rose or Hood River Valley, had just beaten the #1 team in the state, and they come back and they lose a goal by 7 games. They lose a game by 7 goals. What does that say about LaSalle? What does that say about the former #1? I'm not going to tell you because I didn't watch that game and I didn't watch the previous game, but it is a little bit scary because 7-0 is not an aberration. It's not a fluke. And especially when you're doing it game after game.
Every once in a while we see in sports, too, how, after a big win, you get a little too high and then come out flat the next game. And Sagaffi nearly got there, but good goaltending in the end. Brave and committed run to come off his line and break that up.
And credit to the new keeper here to start the second half. That's Diego Calderon, the junior who came on at halftime, replacing Alejandro Farfan Rivera, a pair of juniors, and wearing number 0. So a good play by Calderon. I didn't know if he was going to get there, but made the important touch. Otherwise, Sagaffi either could have picked that up or potentially drawn a foul on the goalie outside of the box, which easily could have been a red there. So a good play by Calderon, and we'll see how long he can keep his personal clean sheet here in the second half. Hasn't faced a shot yet. I think Centennial's done a good job of minimizing the chances. The problem is it's been that efficiency of LaSalle. 3 shots on target, 3 goals that's caused problems as we get a foul on Serrano Maldonado. 10 minutes gone by here in half number 2, and it's just the 3 goals. This is, to this point, I mean, there's still 30 minutes left. It would be the closest game that LaSalle has played in conference. We actually saw the closest game that they've played during this 9-game winning streak. That win over Mountainside that finished 1-0. But at that point, Monty Hawkins said we had the pieces. We were beginning to show what we could be, but we weren't executing. We weren't finishing. And clearly something clicked.
Yeah, and that's what's so neat about it. It's really a team that has clicked and jived and melded together and has a cohesive energy. And they're getting it done.
Centennial looking for that first goal. Lots of contact, and it'll go against the man on the floor who's not too happy. That's Brambilla, who thought that he had been fouled previous to it. Still don't have a shot on target for either side here in the second half. On the free kick, that is pinged. What a perfect ball by the center back. And Cooper Eldon over there fighting for it, and he will draw the throw-in.
Yeah, pinpoint accuracy on the set piece.
This is Sheffield, who's had to do a lot more hold-up play than being able to attack goal with his face-to-goal. Working with it is Breslin Nichols. Nichols looking to get off a cross. Nichols working against Fulgencio. Still with it. That's actually Fabian Gonzalez defending there. Lyon has it taken off his foot, but one right back by Serrano Maldonado. Heads it into the mixer, bouncing around and controlled by Eldon Nichols. Eldon out wide, able to find a winger, and eventually it's cleared off of the defender Lanoltz, and we will get, I believe it's going to be a throw-in just by the corner flag.
Yeah, LaSalle ratcheting up the pressure a little, and a lot of nice passes strung together there, and everybody's competent on the ball. There's not a lot of panic in their game.
This is Eldon Nichols taking the throw in just along the corner flag. Typically they look for Van Sheffield in this kind of situation. Said he'll go for Cooper Eldon. Eldon Nichols and Cooper Eldon. You don't see that many Eldons in this day and age.
You know, a little bit of an old-timey name, but it's a solid, classic man's name. Nice to see it out there.
Bouncing around, and we will get a foul behind the play. Again, an important intervention from Jasper Gilly. Gilly and Garvey, the G's in that center back position, have done a great job today for LaSalle, as player who was called for the foul is now struggling a bit. I can't quite tell if that's
Brambilla again?
No, that's Fulgencio, the younger Fulgencio.
Oh, yeah.
That's Alejandro, who goes by Alex, who Had that great chance in the first half, tried to dribble through 4 players and nearly did so.
Yeah, he's leading the team in goals as a freshman. Obviously a bright future.
Well, just think about him and Vala Sagafi facing off for the next 3 years. I mean, they're not going to be seeing a lot of each other one-on-one, but those are 2 incredibly talented players who have already put up big numbers, and they're just freshmen, as now you see Fulgencio who's going to have to be carried off. This is bad if you're Centennial.
Yeah, not only just, squeaking into the starting lineup, but full-on stars for their respective teams.
Well, I was going back. This is the second player that we've seen have to be carried off the field for Centennial. And
that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, for both of these teams, you don't want to see injuries. You never want to see injuries, period. But going into the state tournament, the last thing you want to see. So we really hope that Fulgencio is going to be okay, because he has played extremely well, and he's an exciting player to watch. So hopefully get to see more of him as this game goes along, or just see him walk off looking confident. So this is Yagari for the other Fulgencio. That's Luis. Turned over and one right back. Controlled by Javier Martinez. Martinez still with it, able to bounce off Lyon, but Lyon wins the ball. Lyon too heavy of a touch and coming all the way across. And able to find a teammate there was Fabian Gonzalez. What, if anything, have you seen different from Centennial here in the second half? Because they do seem to have, I was going to say composure as they turned it over in a bad spot, but it definitely has seemed a little bit calmer. As here's Sagafi from distance and shoots it wide.
I feel like they've got a sweat on. They got punched in the face a couple times, and they realize, all right, what are we even, going to play pensive and nervous, and they brought effort all night. They've strung a few more passes. We'll see if they can get the final result, something to feel good about going into the postseason. But it's really been all about LaSalle for my money.
Javier Martinez comes off. Not quite sure on the player who just checked in directly across from us. As we're waiting on the goal kick here from Diego Calderon. And I'm not sure if this was the plan all along. One goalie for one half, one goalie for the other. That's on us because we didn't ask. But Calderon has done a nice job and has had limited touches, but after Farfan Rivera kind of struggled with a couple of catches, he's looked a little bit calmer in net to start this half.
Yeah, and that one, he came off his line. I mean, he wasn't the fastest guy on the field, but he made his mind up early, and he got there. And Sagafi, I feel like, has some deceptive speed, the way he just glides there. And had he got there, that's a player that knows what to do with it. So, decisive, good goaltending.
Ball falls here for Yagari. Able to keep control. It's Eldon Nichols. Nichols pushes it across, and you see more and more players pushing forward here. Declan O'Brien into the attack. The way that LaSalle has been able to defend and control possession, they can push bodies forward if they choose to. Comfortably leading at 3-0. Spun to the near side. Brought down by Fulgencio. Trying to find the player just onto the field. That is Michael Jimenez. Bounces around. That's Brambilla looking for Yagari and pushed all the way back for Clem, who I think he's up to 6 or maybe 7 touches at this point.
Yeah, they were trying to keep him warm when there was a little pause in the action, especially on a cold night. But that's the deal with playing goalie is, Sagafi, hello. Just magic feet.
Just another highlight reel play. Looking to play in Sheffield there, who stays on side.
Yeah, flag stayed down.
Sheffield back for Eldon Nichols and immediately runs to the middle of the box, bounces around to the far side for Cooper Eldon, pushes it out for Lyon, wants a go, and
Why
he
not?
just pushes it wide. You could see him lining up the
We've
shot.
got a save there.
Isaac Lyon. I'm not sure if that was saved by the keeper or deflected, because it got through a lot of players, but either way, it results in a corner kick. And wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a ball deflect out and a midfielder just have it go. We saw Serrano Maldonado score in a very similar play earlier. And it's Serrano Maldonado right now who's going to take this corner kick from the near side. Just about midway through this second half, and it's a very respectable 3-0 scoreline if you're Centennial and if you're LaSalle. I know that they want 7 or 8 goals every game, but 3-0 is still a very comfortable lead against a team that's currently sitting second in the conference and in the top 18 in all of 5A. Serrano Maldonado floats that one in, finds a teammate, but heads it backwards there. That was the defender Garvey, and now almost turnover. It's a good job anticipating, but 2 defenders back, and it's controlled by LaSalle. Fulgencio looks up and immediately met by who else? It's Lyon, who's done a great job defensively. Here's Sagafi trying to leave it for Sheffield. Still sitting on 29 goals. You know he's looking for number 30 here. And he is unable to control it, as that was good defense from Fabian Gonzalez.
Yeah, and that was a good strike out of Lyon as the defensive midfielder. You know, he saw his chance to take a crack, and he kept it low, and probably just on the post or off, but the keeper couldn't take any chances with it and earned a corner.
Couple subs about to head over to midfield and get ready to check in for LaSalle. This is typically the point, or even a little bit earlier, that Monty Hawkins has been bringing in some of his subs. Not sure if this is fully emptying the benches at this point or just trying to get some players some time who will likely play in that next round. As LaSalle figure 5th in the state at minimum. They shouldn't move down after a win over a solid team. Will likely be hosting one, if not multiple games going into the 5A state tournament. And I would say that playing at home is a huge advantage for them, but realistically, playing anywhere recently has been a huge advantage for them, putting them on the field.
There's a lot of support out here tonight, especially on senior night, and I'm sure the playoffs will, only up the ante. But tons of parents out there. They've been loud, they've been supportive, and I'm sure it's energized the LaSalle team, and they want to do it in front of their home folks here.
River Nichols is into the game, the 5th and final Nichols brother, who typically is a starter but did not start today because of senior day. You see that a lot, and this is important to get him some minutes in before the state tournament. The other player is Henry Foubert, the true freshman who came on late in half number 1, and he'll get some minutes as well.
Making those little sacrifices. Everything's going right with the team chemistry, and they're just, LaSalle's in a really good place right now.
I think what I love, and you see it a little bit less in soccer because there's just less chances to score, but I think a team is going well, and you see it the most in basketball when you bring in the last man on the bench and the starters are cheering louder than the bench was cheering during the actual game when those bench players score, when they have something go well. As we're going to see Sheffield whistled for offside. But you see that entire bench up, probably to keep warm, I think, a little bit right now. But they've had a lot to cheer about recently. I think it makes it easier for anybody when you're coming off because you feel confident someone else is going to do well.
And the collective joy of the team. When the band is cooking, you get in there and play tambourine, and it sounds good.
Love that analogy. It's controlled here in the midfield by Eldon Nichols. All 3 Nichols brothers out there right now, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Nope, actually, I know for a fact Breslin checked off. So 2 of the 3 out there. Breslin had himself a nice game. And I'm sure we'll see him a lot during the state tournament. He's played on the turf. Foubert back for Eldon Nichols. And across for River Nichols. Right now, it feels like LaSalle all of a sudden has a little bit of that first half dominance back. Yeah,
they're going to get the Olays going in a second here. They're starting to really assert a lot of dominance in the possession game.
Sustained pressure, and they're finding holes in that defense. All of a sudden, some space is open as we are into the final 20 minutes. I'm not sure if those are just tired legs or...
Well, they've had to chase the game, although, they've been bunkered in a little bit as well, but when the other team possesses more of the ball and you're just chasing it this time of the game, the legs are going to feel a little wobbly.
Yeah, Jasper Gilly nearly just dribbled into trouble and able to retain possession and draw the foul, so we'll get a free kick just inside midfield. I believe this is Connor Garvey, who had that incredible pinged pass on a free kick earlier. This time he skies it into the box. Couple players there, bounces around, and eventually it'll go all the way over to the sideline where Eldon Nichols will watch it out for a throw in. Gives it off for River Nichols. Talk about Eldon not being used all that often.
Oh,
River goes just high over the bar on the near post. River Nichols is another fun name.
Yeah, that was a cross that was just off enough that it nearly snuck its way
Deep
into the
shot
upper
from
corner.
River Nichols,
Those are the
results in a
absolute
goal
worst
kick
as a keeper.
For the Eagles.
That in-between shot that you can't quite anticipate, and you think you're good, and then all of a sudden it's dipping a little bit faster than you anticipated.
Yeah, it had a little more knuckle and a little less in-swing on it.
3 goals all scored in the first 30 minutes. Valis Agafi, Cooper Eldon, and Kevin Serrano Maldonado the difference right now in what has been a closer than anticipated game the way LaSalle has been playing, but still some time left as Sheffield held up play. A lot of white shirts racing backwards. Now it's River Nichols towards the top of the box. Knocked down, but not out of trouble yet. Valis Agafi has one. Looking for the assist. Serrano Maldonado is stopped, but the offside flag is up.
Sagafi's a surgeon. He knows how to just lay it in on the other side. It's just, I mean, obviously I've been singing his praises, but it's so deserved. He's fun to watch.
You're going to be on that Valis Agafi bandwagon before a lot of
I think
people.
I've already joined his fan club, apparently.
Controlled in the midfield, it's Foubert. All the way out for River Nichols. 15:25 to go. This game feels like it might have a goal or two left in it. Centennial has done a great job defensively today. They really have, but facing a freight train in the form of a team that's been averaging nearly 7 goals per game in conference, and that includes just the 3 goals today. They've given up. LaSalle has scored at least 5 goals in every conference game this season, so 3 would be a low. So they're looking for their 7th shutout in 8 conference contests. River Nichols slides it up top for Breslin Nichols. For Lyon, back for Breslin. Breslin chipping it, looking for Van
there you
Sheffield.
go.
Pulls it down, right-footed shot and a great save.
What a lovely take and an even better stop.
Diego Calderon has a couple saves now, and that was beautifully taken by
Tons
Van
of power.
Sheffield on the volley, but a great save from Calderon, and that, I mean, it won't show up in the box score as a huge play, but it's another confidence play for this Centennial team.
Oh, struck it sweetly. That was like Jaimez in the World Cup. Took it off his chest and just volleyed it. Really good power.
Going back to the 2014 World Cup.
Was that Jaimez? Yeah, Colombian.
James Rodriguez.
Yeah, what a great goal that was.
It'll be KSM, Kevin Serrano Maldonado, looking for another good ball into the box, and it's a good one. River Nichols got a foot on it. It's knocked down. Lyon wants another shot from distance. Goes off the back of a Centennial defender. Not out of trouble yet.
Just brimming with confidence, this LaSalle side.
And it's kept alive by Foubert into the 6. Sheffield heads it down, and we've got a whistle against Sheffield and a free kick coming.
Yeah, came over the back, but they're so hungry. They're having so much fun out there.
It's an insatiable hunger for this team. I think even into the final seconds of the half, they're likely not to relent. Zugari will go all the way to Lanalt. And Centennial will be an interesting team to see how they fare in the state playoffs. Lost last year in the second round here at LaSalle, 3-2.
Yeah, this game isn't the greatest indicator of where Centennial really is because they've just run into a team in form of a lifetime.
And the scary thing is they're ranked 5th in the state, but they've got to be the most dangerous team just in terms of their ability to score. LaSalle this year has scored 77 goals and conceded 12 times. That's a 60-plus 65 goal differential. No other 5A team in the state has scored 65 goals, period. So they might face some teams that will have a higher state ranking, but they're not going to face a team that has the capability of scoring goals in as many bunches as we've seen today. Serrano Maldonado again looking for Sheffield. Just got to be practicing headers in practice all day. that he's had so many half chances, although we've seen Centennial do a good job of stepping in front, as there's a turn and no foul that
No
time.
foul, yeah, I thought that might have been one.
I think that was Foubert who looked lively. Made the most of his minutes.
Oh,
This
touch.
is Luis Fulgencio looking to push forward. Fulgencio is pushed down, and that'll lead to a free kick. Taken
Got
down
it.
there by Jasper Gilly.
And if now, then
Be a
when,
free kick
if you don't
for the
commit some
Eagles.
numbers forward here and try to steal one.
11:40 to go. Centennial has 2 subs waiting to check on. That was Luis, the older brother, I should say, of Alex Fulgencio, the starting forward, who's one of the players who's come off injured and hopefully is okay. There's 3 players over there now, and I'd love to see Luis's brother check back in.
Yeah, good burst for the older brother there to put it into space and just run right around him.
This is Anthony Brambilla to take the free kick into the box, bouncing around a shot opportunity, a second one, a big save, the ball's loose.
Unbelievable.
And getting there before Yagari is Clem. 2 to 3 good looks there and unable to get a shot on target.
Oh, just pinging around so dangerously, and it wasn't going to take much to poke that in the goal, but I didn't see if he got any wood on it and the keeper was able to actually keep that out, or Centennial just couldn't quite get the shot off.
From my view, they had, I think, 1 to 2 looks where the shot was actually deflected down by defender. There might have been a bit of a touch from Yagari that could be called a save, but he didn't get much behind it.
At least Clem was able to get his hands on that and snuff it out.
Here's
once and for all.
Sagafi. Sagafi with a left-footed shot, and it's poked wide and out for a corner kick. And Ben,
Corner kick for
I know
the
you're more of a goal
Falcons.
scorer than a defender, although I believe I've actually broadcasted you trying to play some goalie. I say trying as a joke there. But for this LaSalle team, they're up 3-0. A goal here would not mean that they'd be in danger, but that shutout means everything on senior day, but also just period for this group. And I think that shows throwing bodies in front of the goal, Clem diving all over the place. This defense is going to be a huge part of their postseason run one way or another.
Yeah, at this stage in the match, 3-0 is a lot better than 4-1. I mean, the shutout is certainly just for that morale of the defense and feeling unstoppable. But
well, it's also a pride thing as Sheffield finally gets the header down, but not a ton of pace on it as it bounces right into the waiting hands of Calderon.
I'm sure you asked the coach. He wants the clean sheet.
Oh, absolutely. You can't lose if you have a clean sheet. You can go to penalties, but you can't lose. And that's going to be a big thing as they go on to the state playoffs, as there's some beautiful footwork.
River.
I believe that was actually Foubert, although they do sport similar haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least hair colors. Foubert wearing 2 and River Nichols wearing 23.
Yeah, correct.
That blonde mop, which honestly I'm a little jealous of just how much hair they have right now. Here's Sheffield with a good turn and eventually pushed out by the defender. Vance has struggled for space, but it's one of those things where you kind of have to accept it if your team is succeeding. It's really just whatever you need to do for your team. And he's done a nice job today with his hold-up play. He's created that second goal. He's had an impact despite not putting his name on the goal tally and getting that 30th goal this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Been instrumental. Has the assist that might have been going in the goal anyway, but
You can't fault Cooper Eldon there.
no.
Substitute just into the game, trying to make his mark.
100%. That has got to be your mindset, to score every goal you possibly get your hands on.
So here come the subs, a trio of Eagles flying onto the field. Yeah, that was a bad one. I'll totally cop to it.
I like
Now
it.
into the match for the
See,
Eagles,
we've
number
got-
7, Benito Uziel Lopez.
We've got Benito
16,
Uziel Lopez.
Fulgencio.
Alex Fulgencio is back onto the field, so that is
Oh.
great news after we saw the injury, and Sura Poe is back on for the second time today. But the big thing here for Centennial, when you saw some of their better, 2 really strong players go out and have to be physically picked up and carried to the bench, a little bit worried about that. It's never a good sign.
I tried to glass him with the binoculars when he was on the bench, and he didn't look that bad off, so I was a little confused at the move to to play stretcher and take him off. It looks like he was good enough. And what a whirling dervish of a double helicopter move there.
That was Brambilla, who's looked good in this second half. They've got the weapons. I mean, we haven't seen enough in the attacking third because they haven't had enough bodies forward. But Brambilla has some really good footwork. Yagari's got great speed and footwork. Fulgencio's, I mean, again.
Athletically, they match up to them. Team chemistry, nobody can hold a candle to what LaSalle is doing right now and the chemistry that they've built.
This is Sagafi on the turf. A great look, and getting a piece of it there is the center back, Connor Garvey. How often do you have a free kick lined up for a center back? And Garvey slipped, still got a piece of it. And another save for Diego Calderon, who's looked good.
But Sagafi, that was so well weighted. That was a great chance. It's not an easy chance, and it's understandable that if you're just a hair off balance that you may fall over. But Sagafi's passing. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I think that's the area. I mean, his dribbling is also fantastic. But I think his passing and his wherewithal is probably the area that he looks the least like a freshman and more like a freshman in college, sophomore in college. Like, you don't see many players at the high school level as unselfish as he is.
Yeah, enjoying the process of
I mean, he scored 15 goals this year, and he probably is happier with his 19 assists.
Talk about a good ball.
This is Sagafi with it.
Yeah, can just dribble himself into space, no problem.
Zala pushes it back for Jasper Gilly, who started this play.
Yeah, with a perfect pass. Really well weighted.
At what point do you think that Vala Sagafi is going to be a one-name player? I'd be fine with Vala or Sagafi. I think either one could catch
I keep
on.
saying Sagafi. It's got a nice phonetic ring to it. I think, he's going places.
Handled here by Lyon. Back to the near side for KSM, the three-letter man who will float that one in. No one attacks that time. And an easy play for Calderon, who's maybe been the player of the match for Centennial. He's played well here in the second half to keep this game at 3-0. And again, talks about moral victories in the open, and no one wants to play for a moral victory as Serrano Maldonado tries to play on the turf for Sheffield. Kept alive. Foubert
holding
for
them
Sagafi.
scoreless and playing them even for a half. It's got to be a confidence booster for Centennial.
Yeah, I think at this point, as Serrano Maldonado was caught on the arm and made sure the referee saw it on that foul from Benito Uzio Lopez, one of the subs. I mean, 3-0 game is as close as anyone's been since they played Mountainside on the 20th of September.
And really, it could have been just 1-0. I mean, there's a couple minor keeper errors. We don't want to harp on it. He's a good player, and everybody has a little bit of an off night in the office. But
especially the first goal where the goalie spilled it right to Vala.
Yeah.
The second goal was a well-worked, and the third goal, I mean, you might say keeper. I'm just going to say a fantastic finish from Serrano Maldonado on a play where most players are not putting that on target, much less right underneath the top right corner. KSM runs over the ball. It's Vala Sagafi, back post. Delgado knocks it down. Ball's loose. Handball before it goes in from River Nichols that time, who had the shot. But a handball call denies goal number 4 and goal number 54 of the conference season. They might not get that 54th goal. Only 3:12 to go.
Not a bad deal for Centennial to walk out here, something to hold their heads high and be pretty happy and confident about. And LaSalle, nothing's going to faze them the way things are going.
They've gotten their shots on target here in the second half. They've created actually more shots and shots on target. It's just been Diego Calderon's played well.
He really has. The Centennial goaltending has been excellent in the second half.
Serrano Maldonado looking for Sheffield, battling with the defender, and he's going to be called for the foul as he battled back and forth there with Edgar Garcia.
A little too handsy.
Lanolt pushing it forward, and this is the first touch, I believe, for Alex Fulgencio in a while after coming off. He's still got that trademark speed. Good to see. Oh, Brambilla,
He's clever.
He's got some fun moves. As it's won back by Breslin Nichols, but immediately turned over. Lanolt on the far side gives it up, and Foubert had it for a moment. A little bit of loose play as that one will just barely stay in the complex. This is an interesting location. First time I've been out to LaSalle. It's right in a neighborhood, which is a little bit different than most fields. Right on the edge of the school complex, but it must be fun if you're the neighbors.
Yeah, fun or a little noisy, depending on your take.
It's not Luton Town over in London. Well, I don't know if it's quite in London, but over in the Premier League, where it's built completely into a neighborhood where the neighbors are actually part of the complex.
Yeah, it'd be fun to get there one day.
1:20 to go, and we'll see a free kick here for Edgar Garcia. Garcia taking his time, and he will float one in to the top of the 18. Bounces around. Here's a late chance, and the right-footed shot off a defender. That might have been Foubert there who got it down.
1 minute left in the match.
Again, just trying to hold on to this clean sheet. Clem comes out, punches it, knocked back down, and an easy save off the back heel flick from Brambilla. And I think Clem is going to be more than content to hold on to this one for a while.
Yeah, I feel like it looked like the ball dropped in between two Centennial attackers, and then they were almost unsure of who should take that first little strike right in the box. They were kind of polite about it with each other, and the chance got away from them.
Under 30 seconds now. Lucio Lopez to the near side for Brambilla. Brambilla nutmegs Serrano Maldonado. Coming over and keeping it alive is Poe. Across, a shot from
10 seconds.
Yagari is knocked down, and now it'll be cleared the other way. Centennial looking for that late goal. Here comes Sheffield. Coming out is Delgado, and wisely comes out. Well, the final score of this one is 3-0. The Booster Club will have its largest fundraiser of the year on January 27th. Their annual steak and seafood, all-you-can-eat buffet, and microbrew tasting event is always a sellout. Tickets go on sale the second week of December, so put the date on your calendar to purchase tickets and attend on the 27th of January. It's a fun event, and all proceeds benefit LaSalle's athletic and activity programs. So, Ben, we've now seen 160 minutes of LaSalle. The first time we saw LaSalle, they were not what they are today. But a strong performance despite not putting up all the goals that they have to finish out conference play undefeated, to finish off with the 7th shutout in 8 games, 53-1 goal margin. Just how far do you think this team could go if they continue playing the way that, not only the way they've been playing, but what we saw today, which was maybe not quite what they've been in terms of goal scoring, but just dominant in terms of creation, in terms of possession, and in terms of team chemistry. It seems like all 11 players are thinking as one.
I think you said it right there with the team chemistry, and 11 is one, and the first couple of guys off the bench. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself or jinx them, but they look like they could win the whole thing.
As they will celebrate with the regular season trophy. Certainly not the trophy, the last trophy they're hoping to hoist this season, but this was a really strong performance by LaSalle, and for Centennial, a lot of positive signs. I mean, you see 7-0, 7-0, 8-0, 8-0, 7-1, 5-0. It's got to be intimidating, and they came in, was a 3-0 loss. Probably could have been 1 goal fewer, maybe even 2, and I think Centennial's got to feel good. They dropped the game. They fall at least to 3rd, potentially 4th, depending on one of the other results in conference play. But this is a team that's got to feel good about themselves coming in. They go 5-2-1 in a difficult Northwest Oregon conference, and they played this LaSalle team as close as anyone's played them in over a month.
They just finished a scoreless half with the hottest team on the planet. So Centennial's got a lot to look forward to as they are geared up and ready to make a run in the playoffs themselves.
Well, that will do it for us on Oregon Sports Media, at least on the audio side. For myself, Seth Orensky, joined by Ben Effron and our entire crew, thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to check out Oregon Sports Beat on YouTube with all the rest of the games going forward, as this is part of a busy week here in Portland.